A very good morning to all of you, and a very warm welcome to all of you here. As we all know, this month is an Autism Awareness Month, and as a part of this awareness program, Sri Aurobindo Society Project Inclusion under the wings of Rupantar has come up with the topic discussion, A Parent's Journey from Knowing to Acceptance. The Project Inclusion is one of the largest inclusive training platforms in India, where there are teachers, parents, and caregivers as the stakeholders. Just a minute, please. Sorry. The teachers, parents, and caregivers as the stakeholders. The program has reached 21 states, around about 53,000 teachers, both online and at ground level. And to the audience here, would request to download the Project Inclusion app. And if you would like to contact with us, please fill up the form given in the chat box. So coming to the start of the event today, here I would like to say that today we have our panelists here who are parents to children with autism, and each of them have been a change makers and contributing for the community of special needs and children. So here I would like to now introduce each panelist as parent. So, and please just wave out once I say your name so that the audience connects with you. So Ms. Anshul Batra, can we have you waving? Hi. So she's an engineer, MBA, and a special educator. She has 8 years of experience and skills in teaching special needs children, developing and implementing robust teaching plans, expert in assessing the child and making quarterly educational plans, expertise in presenting webinars on teaching functional skills for children on the spectrum, training freshers to work in field with children with special needs, and presently she's working with our Lab Trust as a program consultant, looking into the day as well as the boarding program. And she's blessed with a son, Ansh, who's now 16 years, right? Yes, and who is a very renowned artist, I must say, and many exhibitions and, to his achievements. Ms. Arushi Nanda next. Can we, yeah, hi. So Ms. Arushi Nanda is an entrepreneur, home baker, and a single mother to a very special 4-plus-year-old Akshiv. Her agency, Wildfire Media, provides digital marketing and PR services, while her bakery caters to special kids. Based in Noida, this mother-son duo love to sing and dance together. Coming to Ms. Kriti. Hello. Ms. Kriti has laid the foundation to create a platform for other mothers with special needs children to be there for each other. She realized that it is imperative to create a strong community to fellow mothers, not to educate each other, but to lend that patient ear and crying shoulder. And so the special mom was born. The community has grown to 6,000 plus members across all platforms. As she says, it is a place of fun, cry, and talk your heart out and let your hair down and then walk ahead with a renewed vigor. Kriti is the recipient of Gurugram's Achievers Award 2019, and she, the People TV's 40 over 40 into 2020. Sons blessed, Arnav 13, Abhinav 11 years. And now finally, Mr. Bhushan. Mr. Bhushan, can you wave?
Hi.
Hi. Mr. Bhushan, whom we are very glad to have as we will get to hear a father's perspective, a very involved parent. He belongs to the animation field. Mr. and Mrs. Verma have started an organization, Sanyam for Autism, a means to empower parents through YouTube videos to support and guide parents on various challenges that they would face with children with autism. Being the founders of Great Craft Solutions, a design and animation company, and with over 20 years of rich experience in e-learning industry, they took on creating the content specially crafted for children with learning disabilities, and that's how Learning to Life, L2L, came into existence. So they provide learning resources through e-learning for children with special needs. And with two sons, Ansh 10 years, Sanyam 15 plus, and Sanyam has a lot of music talents, and what we can see that. So over to now the discussion, the topic, from knowing to acceptance. I think so, being in the field now for over more than 2 decades myself as a special educator, I have seen that, sometimes even for us professionals, when we have and we see red flags in children, it becomes a very difficult moment to share that, to tell to a parent also. And the same way, when the parent finds out and knows that, there are certain red flags and certain concerns, and to experience that journey with so much of emotions that come, I think so it's a very turbulent and a challenging phase to go through. But I think so all of us definitely at some point of time come out of victory. I would not like to mention in detail the emotions, because we know they're negative, they're positive, which I think so you would explain it better as parents, the exact words of emotions that come through this journey of yours, right? So I would like to let each panelist give some time, 2 to 3 minutes, share a little bit on this journey of theirs from knowing to acceptance. So we can start with Ms. Anshul.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so
Yes.
much for having us today. I mean, this is something very close to our heart. I mean, going down the memory lanes, I mean, it's been 16 years. And when we look back, it seems like it's happening right now. And to be very frank, for me, acceptance come naturally. I will tell you why. My story is little different from other parents in a way. Like being a mother, from beginning, I could sense that there was something different with my son. When he was around 15 months old, I could see that he was not interacting the way other, same age of children used to interact with each other. He seems to be aloof. He has very limited verbal skills. I mean, he could speak, luckily, but that too in a very short words, like single words. And he has never waved. And let me mention you, I was not aware about autism at all. That point of time, I was like any other regular parent who wished to have a very, so-called neurotypical and normal child. Having your firstborn, you have so much aspiration for your first, born. When I started observing that he's acting in a different way, I used to, tell my husband that somewhere I feel that he's different and we should just go and talk to his, doctor. And he used to redirect me, or no, no, you are, just kind of getting too much obsessed with your first child. He's pretty much normal. He would learn with his own pace. Spend more time. We were in a nuclear family, and he was our firstborn. So gradually I decided to, quit my job, because somewhere down my heart as a mother, I could feel that difference which no one else could ever, see in him. Even my husband, everybody around me, including my in-laws, my parents, everybody was like, oh, he's a boy, he would speak late, don't worry, chill, this and that. Maybe you just go ahead and put him in some school that will going to help him. So I was like, maybe they are wrong, and they are right, and maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm getting too much obsessed with my firstborn. So I thought, okay, let's wait for a few more months. And time flew, and luckily he got admission in a very reputed and very famous school in Gurgaon. And we were feeling very top of the world. Oh wow, he got such a nice school. Now thing will fall in place. Everything will be fine. But I didn't realize the very first week of his joining, both of us were, called by a internal psychologist of that school, with few head of that school, saying that we can also see some difference in his behavior. Why don't you just go and have a formal assessment so that we can, help him in a better way. Unless we get the, proper diagnosis or assessment, it's very difficult to, help a child. So that's when my husband realized that I was right in a way, that there was some difference, and we were kind of just out of fear, maybe, or out of protection, we were kind of just ignoring those red flags. So eventually, after meeting two psychologists, we took two, assessment, not one, just to have a second opinion, just to be sure. I mean, this was a life changing event for any parent, going to a psychologist and meeting and getting their child as a diagnosis. And eventually he was labeled with PDD-NOS, and life was changed thereafter. It wasn't the same. But frankly speaking, for my husband, it was a life shattering event. He broke, he was quiet for months. But for me, it was a kind of relief also, in a way that now at least I know what was bothering him, why he was not interacting with other kids, why he was not speaking the way other kids were speaking, why he was not responding to his name, why he was not gelling up with his parents. So at least now I got all those answers which were, kind of bothering me internally. So I was relieved in a way. Maybe I'm sounding very different, but I was like that only. At least now I know what to do with him. Although we were not aware of autism even then. Then I started
Miss
studying about.
Anshul, can I just, we have a little bit time, constraints here. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I'll have to, if you can just quickly wrap it up and so that I can go to the next
Sure.
panelist.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then we decided to study about autism, and frankly speaking, getting a diagnosis was a relief for me, and acceptance, came naturally after that. And it was a biggest challenge for any parent to deal with, and it's take time. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It happened with the hard work and the journey you travel with your child.
Yes.
So that's all from my side for now.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Arushi, next, can we have your thoughts and your experiences?
Hello, everyone, and a very good morning to all of you. I am very, very thankful to be here to speak with so many influential people. Your journey has definitely been longer than mine, but I am very thankful for your kind words and for this platform. Um, my son is 4.5 years old. And the first time that I noticed that something is off or not quite right with him, when he was about 7, 8 months old, I saw him moving his eyes in a manner that I've never seen any other child or even him do before. But then, like a typical mother, I shrugged it off, कि no, एक ही बार है, nothing to worry about. Then then I started noticing that his milestones were getting delayed. He didn't sit on time. He didn't crawl on time, and he wasn't speaking. His first words didn't come when we were expecting them to come, and I was very concerned. And I was told by family members, by elders, it's okay. Kids grow at their own pace. It's fine. It's nothing to worry about. And I said, all right. I was worried, but then I thought that's a mother's job. You worry all the time. And then I thought, okay, no problem. Then he was almost 16 months old and he did not walk. That is when I realized we need to do something about it. And then the pandemic struck and we were all stuck indoors and I could not do anything about it. And we tried to encourage him, we tried to bribe him, we did a lot of things to encourage him to walk or talk or do the kind of things that regular kids do, but it didn't happen the way we wanted it to happen. And family members were obviously not accepting in the first place. They said that it's not right to label a child, even if it's something wrong, हम handle कर लेंगे, and label हो जाएगा, पूरी life ऐसे निकल जाएगी. Then it wasn't until he was 3 years old that I could convince everybody around me and myself that we need help. That's when I got him diagnosed. Not once, I went to 5 different people and got assessments done because I could not accept the first or the second or the third diagnosis. I couldn't bring myself to do it. And then this happened that okay, this is what it is, we need to accept it, and now let's work on a plan, let's get him the help he needs. I started speaking to as many child psychologists as I could. I spoke to therapists, I spoke to special educators, I called up my friends, somebody who knew somebody else. I spoke to everyone I could, gathered all information. Then we started our therapy journey. I would say the biggest challenge that I faced was finding the right therapist. or finding the right educators for my son. A lot of people, sadly, are focused on only earning money. They are not focused on the child's development. I mean, I don't want to name names, but certain therapists, they gave tasks to my son, my 3-year-old son, that I could not understand what they were expecting out of him, let alone my child be able to do those tasks. And one person just gave up and he said, "Iska kuch nahi ho sakta." And that's when we were very scared. Then
Okay, I can understand that, and I
I'm
think
getting
so.
overwhelmed while
Yes, I
speaking.
know, I know. So let's just take a break from you and let other speak. We
I'm,
really,
I'm
we definitely understand. I know it's a very, very, to hear such words. It is very, heart wrenching to hear such words and to go through this. And I'm sure because since you're a new parent at this point of time, and you're going through that journey very freshly. So we are all here with you, and I'm sure now, since you'll be introduced to this community here, they're here to support you and know best than what a parent, the other parent, can do. And I'm sure Ms. Kriti, Ms. Anshul, Mr. Bhushan. So now this can be also a platform, for you to, because none other than a parent to understand from the parent. Yeah. So definitely. So Ms. Kriti, over to you. Can we share your...
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sarabjit ma'am. And good morning to all of you. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ पर आके. I can speak in Hindi if everyone's okay.
Definitely. Please be bilingual.
Thank you.
Yes.
आरुषि, बहुत बड़ा hug आपको सबसे पहले. Anshul has been my rock, if I can begin by saying that. अंशुल ने एक दोस्त बनके, एक टीचर बनके बहुत मदद करी है जिंदगी में मेरी. So when ma'am said that, the best teacher or a best guidance can be a senior mom. By senior mom, I don't mean somebody with gray hair. Sarab ma'am, nothing against you. You look perfectly fine. You look gorgeous.
No, thank you so much.
But somebody who has been on this journey for a longer period of time than you. And बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ भगवान के कि अंशुल जैसी पेरेंट मिली मुझे बहुत ही शुरू में अपनी जर्नी के. And though all these senior parents are wonderful, even if they are themselves in trouble, even they themselves don't have the answers that they're wading through right now, but they're always ready to help you. They're always standing there and always ready to help you. अपनी जर्नी के बारे में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं बताऊंगी, कुछ अलग है नहीं, सबकी तरह ही है. वही 18 महीने का था, डायग्नोसिस मिला, पहाड़ गिरा सर पे. खुद को बहुत स्मार्टली इंग्लिश पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट बोलती हूँ. अंशुल हंसेगी अब इस बात पे. बट पता नहीं चला कि ऑटिज्म चिड़िया है क्या भाई. मतलब कहाँ से आए हो तुम, कौन दिशा से, मतलब किधर, व्हाट, हेलो, नहीं पता. सो इक्विवेलेंट ही है. दैट डिजेक्शन, दैट रिजेक्शन, that sadness, and crying for hours, for months, and what everyone's family have gone through. सबसे पहले तो पता ही नहीं चल रहा था कि होगा क्या, क्या नहीं होगा. बट बहुत क्विकली ये थैंकफुली रियलाइज कर लिया. और मैं चाहूंगी कि आज आपके इस ब्यूटिफुल प्लेटफॉर्म से ये मैसेज बाकी सारे पेरेंट्स को जाए. नॉट ओनली पेरेंट्स, द प्रोफेशनल्स ऑल्सो, जो इस जर्नी में शुरू हो रहे हैं, हमारे साथ भिड़ने को तैयार हो रहे हैं. कॉन्शियसली भिड़ना वर्ड यूज कर रही हूँ. इस जर्नी में भिड़ने को तैयार हो रहे हैं. स्टे इन टच विद सीनियर पीपल, स्टे इन टच विद सीनियर प्रोफेशनल्स, स्पेशली पेरेंट प्रोफेशनल्स. मैं बहुत बड़ी फैन हूँ सीनियर पेरेंट्स की, क्योंकि जो दिशा वो दिखा सकते हैं वो आपको कोई नहीं दिखा सकता. बिकॉज दे themselves have gone through that, and they can actually feel what is coming out of your mouth. उनको बताने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, वो एक एक शब्द समझ रहे होते हैं कि आप क्या बोल रहे हो. So that is why I realized the power of community. कि एक कम्युनिटी होना बहुत जरूरी है. कम्युनिटी शब्द सुन के तो बहुत कुछ बड़ा सा लगता है, बट दोस्ती होना जरूरी है. साथ मिलके बैठ के बात करना बहुत जरूरी है. जितना बात करेंगे उतना सॉल्यूशन का तो मुझे पता नहीं, पर मुझे इतना पता है कि मन को शांति बहुत मिलती है. आई थिंक मन की शांति बहुत जरूरी है. आई थिंक वी ऑल आर एक्सट्रीमली स्ट्रॉन्ग इन वट एवर दैट वी आर डूइंग इन आवर लाइव्स. वी ऑल नो वेयर वी आर हेडेड. We all very well identify the fickleness and the unpredictability of this journey, and no one has to come and teach this to us. We don't need that. We don't need. What we actually need is that hardcore emotional support at the end of the day. कोई है जो साथ खड़ा होके मुझे बोले कि हाँ मैं समझ पा रही हूँ, ये ले चाय पीते हैं, चल अब सोचते हैं क्या कर सकते हैं, व्हाट नेक्स्ट, व्हाट नेक्स्ट, व्हाट नेक्स्ट, चल सोचते हैं अब क्या कर सकते हैं। और रात को सोने से पहले अगर एक स्पेशली एक माँ के, सरब मैम, अगर एक माँ के मन में ये रियलाइजेशन लेकर वो सोए कि वो अकेली नहीं है, क्योंकि दिस जर्नी इज वेरी लोनली, it's a lonely journey. I'm not talking about being alone. I'm talking about this journey is extremely a lonelier journey. You might have 10 people out there who genuinely love you for what you are. There are people out there who love you, who care for you. But then again, वो भी नहीं समझ पा रहे होते हैं what you're going through as a mother, as a parent. सिर्फ माँ की बात नहीं करूंगी, parent caregiver की बात करूंगी. So it's a very lonely journey. So at the end of the day, अगर मेरे दिमाग में, किसी भी और के दिमाग में ये ख्याल रहे और ये रियलाइजेशन रहे कि वो अकेले नहीं है, there are people out there जो उन्हीं की तरह मे बी उनसे भी बदतर जर्नी में है, बट वो अकेले नहीं है, सब साथ मिलके कुछ ना कुछ कर देंगे यार। जब भी कोई साथ आते हैं कुछ ना कुछ कर ही देते हैं और कुछ अच्छा ही करते हैं, सो अच्छा ही करेंगे। सो थोड़ी सी अबाउट माई सन, ही इज अबाउट टू बी 13, वेरी सून ही विल बी 13। सो चैलेंजेस हैं, बहुत सारे हैं, ठीक है। चैलेंजेस के अलावा बदमाशियां भी बहुत सारी हैं। हर रोज हर लम्हा एक फिगरिंग आउट होता है। हम सब साइंटिस्ट बन चुके हैं, वी आर फॉर एवर सिटिंग इन, वो एक साइंटिस्ट थे, दिखाते थे केमिस्ट्री लैब में बैठ के ऐसे बीकर से कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं। हम वो लोग हैं, हम वो बीकर लेके कुछ लेके एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करते रहते हैं। हिट हुआ हुआ, नहीं हुआ नहीं हुआ, आगे बढ़ो। सो दिस इज व्हाट ऑल आवर जर्नी इज। एंड ऑफ कोर्स पावर ऑफ कम्युनिटी, जो मैं आपसे हमेशा बात इसी बारे में हमेशा करती रहती हूँ, जो खुद रियलाइज किया फिर उस थॉट को आगे लेकर गए हम लोग। और मैं very thankful that Anshul is a part of it. She's one of our subject matter experts, and she's helping a lot of families, especially newly diagnosed families. And I hope Arushi and everyone else will also be a part of it. And बस इतना ही बोलना चाहूंगी, मेरा समय समाप्त हुआ।
Thank you, Ms. Kriti. A lot of inspiring and a lot of energy, I think. So you're going to bring to this platform. So
Thank you,
next,
thank
Mr.
you.
Bhushan.
Hi.
Hi. Hanji, boliye.
So, Sarabjit, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful, wonderful platform where I have this opportunity to share my thoughts, share my journey, and especially from the perspective of being a father. So, in this particularly in the introductory session, I'll just share about a little about how we came to know that Sayam is on autism. Sayam is my elder son's name. He is 15 years old now. So हम लोग पहला बच्चा हमारा आने वाला था लाइफ में. We were very excited, like everybody else share. Till the age of 1 year, he was doing wonderful. Milestones भी सब बहुत अच्छे जा रहे थे. He started babbling. उसने crawl करना शुरू किया. Everything was going great. But suddenly, 1 साल की उम्र में he had a bronchitis attack. उसकी वजह से वो hospitalized हुआ कुछ दिन के लिए. And when he came back, तो रिग्रेस होना शुरू हो गया प्रॉब्लम. उसकी जो बैबलिंग थी, जो बोलना था, वो धीरे धीरे साइलेंट हो गया, गुमसुम रहने लगा. आई कांटेक्ट उसका जो बहुत अच्छा था वो लॉस्ट होना शुरू हो गया. तो ये सारी चीजें तकरीबन 2-3 महीने तक चलती रही. वी थॉट कोई नहीं, अभी हॉस्पिटल से आया है, बीमार है, तो हो सकता है इस वजह से थोड़ा सा अभी टाइम लेगा रिकवर होने में. बट ही डिड नॉट स्टार्ट दैट अगेन. 5 महीने जब हुए, उसके बाद फैमिली मेंबर्स, एज एवरीबॉडी सेड, फैमिली मेंबर्स ऑलवेज से दैट कोई बात नहीं, लड़का है, थोड़ी देर में बोलेगा, आप चिंता मत करो. बट आवर वरी वाज दैट not only he was not speaking, that was not our worry. He was not understanding the instructions. जो हम बोल रहे थे वो समझ नहीं पा रहा था. That was our worry. फिर कुछ और symptoms हम लोगों ने notice किए. कोने में आंखें ले जाके he was going round and round. He was fixated on the object. एक गाड़ी थी, उसके पहिए को बस वो घुमाता रहता था काफी देर तक. So a lot of symptoms were there which जो एक which was not acceptable, जो कि बहुत normal नहीं थे. तो उस टाइम पे हम लोग थोड़े से अलार्म्ड हुए एज पेरेंट्स. एंड देन वी थॉट कि हमें हेल्प की जरूरत है, एंड वी वेंट फॉर अ साइकोलॉजिकल असेसमेंट. तो पहली बारी जब हमने डायग्नोज हुआ संयम का एट द एज ऑफ 1 year 6 months अप्रॉक्सिमेटली, तो फर्स्ट टाइम व्हेन ही गॉट डायग्नोज्ड विद माइल्ड टू मॉडरेट ऑटिज्म, उस टाइम पे हम लोगों ने तब तक कभी सुना नहीं था ऑटिज्म का नाम, जैसे मैम ने भी अभी बोला. And we were completely clueless. what do we do now? What is this autism spectrum? So a lot of research हम लोगों ने करना शुरू किया. पहला तो यही था कि हम उस चीज को एक्सेप्ट करने को तैयार नहीं थे कि हमारे बच्चे के साथ कोई ऐसी कंडीशन है. I'm just checking if I'm audible to everybody. I can't see anybody on the screen at this moment.
Right? Yes, we are here.
Got it.
Yeah, we are here.
Thanks. So that was the phase जब हम लोग किसी भी तरह दोनों, me and Rakhi is my wife's name, equal partner, and हम लोग एक्सेप्ट करने को बिल्कुल तैयार नहीं थे. एंड हम हर वो जरिया एक्सप्लोर कर रहे थे जिससे किसी तरह ये पता लग जाए कि हाँ इसको ऑटिज्म नहीं है. इंटरनेट पे रिसर्च से, प्रोफेशनल से मिलने से, हर वो तरीका, हर वो रास्ता देख रहे थे जहाँ पे हमें बस किसी तरह ये पता लग जाए कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, और अगर है भी तो 1-2 हफ्ते में दवाई खा लेगा, ठीक हो जाएगा. इट वॉज 2-3 months लेटर फिर जब हमने थेरेपी धीरे धीरे करनी शुरू करी, वी वर स्टिल इन द डिनायल मोड. अपने अपने तरीके से हम दोनों डील कर रहे थे. एंड इन नटशेल इफ आई से leaving the rest for the rest of the session, it was from knowing to acceptance was a roller coaster ride for us. कभी हम लोग इस साइड जाते थे कि हाँ कुछ इशू है, कभी इस साइड जाते थे कि हाँ कोई इशू नहीं है. We were trying to convince ourselves. It was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
And it still is. There are challenges which needs to be taken care on every now and then.
Yeah.
But that's how our journey has been.
So thank you everyone here for sharing such an emotional aspect of it's a very very emotional journey, and sharing it for others to know. And I think so what common we can definitely hear is that ki family members first will always say no, ki nahi ho jayega, theek ho jayega. Even I know that when parents come to me and they say ki ladka hai ya ye hai, sab आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. और एक पेरेंट की एक ही गट होती है कि नहीं, and that takes you forward and gives you a little bit of strength. I know it takes a lot of strength to go and say, it's high time that I go and meet some professional and get this sorted out and understand what it is. So I think so from that knowing, from that intuition, to coming to that stage of कि हाँ अब मुझे इस बारे में कुछ करना है, इस बारे में अब मुझे कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा और मुझे खुद करना पड़ेगा. शायद ये एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है इस जर्नी के लिए. तो ये इंट्यूटिवनेस आपको फिर वहाँ ले जाती है, और फिर आपको then once you get that, and then that paper comes in front of you with the diagnosis, it's another shattering. I know how it goes on with that paper coming, and the denial, the guilt, all confusion, क्या करें, कैसे करें, अब क्या करना है. जैसे कृति मैम ने बोला कि एक बहुत पहाड़ जैसे एक टूट जाता है आपके ऊपर. और ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम इस चीज़ को फिर आप लोग ऑब्वियसली फिर सर्च, व्हाट इज़ ऑटिज्म, क्या चीज़ है. And the net, who is our now educator these days, and so we go, we talk to others, we want confirmation from others. Acha, that कि नहीं, ये नहीं हो सकता है. And the why me and all these, I think so, are the common which comes with every parent. And what rightly said, that it's very important to come to that aspect where we say yes, okay, now we need to work towards it. That's the journey where it's where we say yes, okay, let's go ahead and work something out, or do something about it. So thank you very much for this aspect that you have shared. I know it's been hard to share it also. So taking further, so I would like to go now specific to questions to each panelist here. And so Ms Anshul, I know it's a very a question that I'm asking. It's a very tough question, and but it's, I think so, more for the other parents' perspective. Ki is cheez, how much time did it take you to move from that initial stage about your child's autism diagnosis? Because why I'm saying, I'm specifying on the time, is because other parents need to know, is it a close-ended, is it open-ended? What is it for, since you have that a kind of experience and you have guided other parents also. So I think so on this forum also, they need that understanding कि ये कितना वक्त इसमें चाहिए होता है.
You know, it's a very difficult question to
Yeah.
answer, actually. I mean, even if you will going to ask the same question maybe after 15 years, I will still going to take a pause. I mean, deciding on the timeline, I mean, for accepting your own child for the lifelong disorder, I mean, it's very difficult. But frankly speaking, I am one of those parents who was like, this is what it is. Now I know he has autism, which is a lifelong disorder. There is no cure to this. Because most of the time, parents fall in a trap of curing and fixing that autism. I would suggest them, the moment you get your assessment diagnosis, just act swiftly. Don't sit back and cry for months, years. I mean, this is a very natural thing a parent would do. Even out of both of us, one was doing that, but at the same time, I was the one who was standing like a pillar. It is okay. I used to tell my husband, let me quit my job. I'll sit back at home. I will work closely with Ansh. So for that, we need a proper guidance where to start from. So we didn't waste any time. I started, exploring about autism online. Then I started taking my training with my son, starting from Action for Autism. This is one of the top India's first autism center. So I started my journey from there, and there was no looking back. I'm glad that I quit my job in from a very reputed company, but I don't feel any regret. I mean, I'm happy with my child the way he is. I mean, disability is something natural. I mean, you don't ask for it. It happens. This is just one aspect of your child. And we forget at times, running after, fixing them, why you are doing this, why you are doing that, thinking about social, stigmas.
Yes.
कि अरे हमारा बच्चा बाहर सड़क पे लेट गया, what will neighbors tell? इसके बच्चे को तो कुछ सिखाया है इसके पेरेंट्स ने, what kind of parenting they are doing. हम उस ट्रैप से बाहर निकल ही नहीं पाते हैं, और उसमें हम अपने आप को भी ब्लेम नहीं करेंगे, बिकॉज वी हैव बीन प्रोग्राम लाइक दैट. हमारी अपब्रिंगिंग भी एक बहुत ही नॉर्मल उससे हुई है. हमने कभी इमेजिन नहीं किया था कि कभी लाइफ में हम ऑटिज्म को देखेंगे, उसके साथ जिएंगे, वो हमारी लाइफ चेंजिंग जर्नी बन जाएगी. Being an engineer MBA, now I am a special educator. See my curve. दोनों ही एक different poles हैं, कोई link नहीं है, but still I'm very proud mother. The way I could shape my son's, progress, starting from a child who couldn't even sit for 10 seconds. 10 सेकंड में नहीं बैठ पाता था. और जैसे आरुषि ने कहा कि मैंने भी बहुत सुना, कैसे संभालते हो मैम इसको, बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता होगा, बड़ा ही मुश्किल होता होगा. वो क्वेश्चंस के जवाब हमने भी दिए हैं. और बाकी जो और जर्नी रही है कि क्यों मैंने इस फील्ड को चूज किया, क्या ट्रिगरिंग पॉइंट थे, आई विल wait for next set of question probably.
So that's a very insightful aspect where, when we are saying for other parents who are listening, that the time that you come to know about it, I think so, act upon it.
Yes.
And, that's the first steps you could say for accepting, and don't look at the disability, look at the other aspects, possibilities.
Yes.
And definitely there will be a path where, some path will come out from there. And it will make it easier to work and to, I think so, to see your child as a child.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Ms. Kriti, next, to what extent do you feel that acceptance has helped you to take a better course of action in terms of your child's treatment and in facing the challenges that come with raising a child with autism?
पहले तो यार आप ट्रीटमेंट ना बोले,
Sorry,
थोड़ा सा वो है, दिल को जरा चोट पहुंचती है उस शब्द.
I take my words back. I'm really sorry. हाँ जी.
Thank you Sarab मैम, thank you. जैसे अंशुल ने अभी बोला, बहुत प्यारी चीज बोली उसने. Though I'm sure for any parent or any mom to get to that stage is probably a different battle altogether. The day the diagnosis has been handed to you, don't take that as a diagnosis, take that as a clarity, the clarity that you've been seeking. It's very important for every step of the way. It's extremely important for any individual to move on in life, move on in life. And by moving on, I mean कि सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के move on नहीं, but move on with a greater resolute. You resolve a lot of things once you have clarity. जब तक clarity नहीं आती दिमाग में, हम pillar to post करते रहते हैं, हमें समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा होता है कि क्या करे क्या ना करे. And that's when we fall into the trap that Anshul very well mentioned. I have named it the magic wand phase. हम सब गुजरे उस फेज से, मैं भी थी उस फेज में. कोई बाबा, कोई मंदिर, कोई कौवे का झूठा पानी, and a lot of things. Even I was hearing and listening to a lot of people. आपका बेटा पौधों के अंदर घुसता है, इस पे कोई साया है. We've been there. All of us, we've been there. But then सुनने का बड़ा मन करता था, क्योंकि ऐसे लगता था और यार कुछ मिल गया. That magic wand phase की घुमाओ डंडी and autism गायब. बट यस, ऑटिज्म गायब नहीं होगा, लाइफ लॉन्ग कंडीशन है. जितना जल्दी मन को हम समझा सकते हैं उतना अच्छा. और वो मन को समझाने का काम प्लीज अकेले मत करिए, कोई भी मत करिए अकेले. ये गलतियां हमने बहुत कर रखी हैं. उसी के बाद उसी का नतीजा ये निकला था हम सबकी जिंदगी में कि एंजाइटी पिल्स तो ऐसे खा रहे थे जैसे मंदिर के लड्डू बट रहे हो, और खाए जा रहे हैं एंजाइटी पिल्स हम लोग. मत करिए अपने साथ ये. इट डजंट हेल्प एट ऑल. एंड आई थिंक जितना जल्दी हम उसको जैसे आपने बोला एक्सेप्टेंस ने हेल्प कैसे किया. एक्सेप्टेंस तभी हेल्प कर पाया मुझे भी पर्सनली इन माय जर्नी व्हेन आई एक्सेप्टेड इट होल हार्टेडली. ये नहीं कि बिट्स एंड पीसेस में उसको एक्सेप्ट किया. अच्छा आज ये मैं कर लूंगी तो ये हो जाएगा, अच्छा आज ये हो जाएगा तो ये हो जाएगा. व्हेन आई एक्सेप्टेड होल हार्टेडली, अच्छा भैया ठीक है भगवान जी, थैंक यू सो मच, ये गिफ्ट मिल गया है, अब चल लो आगे देखते हैं क्या करना है. सो दैट विल ऑलवेज हेल्प, बिकॉज द मोमेंट यू कॉल दैट, जैसे मैंने अभी बोला आपको, डायग्नोसिस को क्लैरिटी का नाम दे दीजिए, मदद करेगा. वो शब्दों का ही हेर फेर है पर बहुत मदद करेगा आपकी. बोलिए कि भाई जिंदगी में क्लैरिटी मिल गई मुझे, नाउ आई नो व्हाट आई नीड टू डू. जरूर रोइए, आई एम नॉट सेइंग हम लोग नहीं रोए हैं, हम रोए हैं, हम चीखे हैं. हमने अपने जो हमारा सबसे फेवरेट टारगेट रहा है हमारे पति, हमने लड़ाइयां करी हैं बुरी तरह, घर वालों से लड़ाइयां करी हैं हमने. हम लोग कोई संत महात्मा नहीं है, एक दूसरे के साथ लड़ाइयां करी हैं इन बातों को लेके, क्योंकि हमको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि वो जो लड़ाई का जो इरिटेशन है वो आ कहाँ से रहा है. दैट इरिटेशन इज ओनली एंड ओनली स्प्यूइंग फ्रॉम द फीलिंग दैट आई एम होपलेस, I am losing hope. I am not able to do anything for my child. And it's a huge brunt for a mother when she realizes this day in and day out कि मैं कैसी माँ हूँ जो अपने बेटे की मदद नहीं कर पा रही. It's a huge, huge brunt for any mother. चाहे आपका बेटा 50 साल का हो जाए, आप तब भी यही फील करते रहेंगे. You cannot take this away from a mother. It is extremely difficult. भूषण जी यहाँ पर है, मैं फादर्स के बारे में ज्यादा, सॉरी भूषण जी, I mean whatever. But still, I think to cut the long story short, request ये करूंगी, जो मैंने खुद बहुत मुश्किल से रियलाइज किया है पर उस रियलाइजेशन के बाद जिंदगी गुलजार हो चुकी है, is that डायग्नोसिस को क्लैरिटी का नाम दीजिए. एंड अब तो एडवेंट ऑफ सोशल मीडिया है, इंसान छींकता है तो ट्विटर पे 30,000 फॉलोअर्स आ जाते हैं. तो प्लीज यूज द सोशल मीडिया फॉर अ गुड यूज. एंड आई एम श्योर, एब्सोल्युटली श्योर दैट द वे वी हैव फाउंड स्ट्रेंथ इन other people and parents and professionals, सबको वैसी strength मिलेगी.
Thank you, Ms. Kirti. I must say that, your words have a lot of inspiration and giving the right aspect. And I think so all parents here listening to us definitely take this back, that diagnosis ना लेके उसको एक clarity लीजिए. ये बहुत एक important takeaway है और बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि हम भी एज प्रोफेशनल कुछ शब्दों में घुस जाते हैं और शायद हम भी कुछ ऐसे वर्ड्स यूज़ करने लग जाते हैं जो कि I can just relate to one incident when I also keep telling parents, कि आप please, give the me time to your child also. They are your children. So I remember one mother who was so hassled because of family, maybe unke parents ko, she was a single mother, parents had cancer, she had a special needs child. She said, I have 3 patients to take care of. So, I said, your child is not a patient, take it like that. So the same thing is that, we have to, I think so somewhere down the line to all parents, and what Kirti is saying, कि ये शब्दों में मत घुसो, take it positively, and move on. That's really a good takeaway. Next, Mr. Bhushan. So, Mr. Bhushan, obviously, the typical question that will come is, what were the difference in you and your wife's journey? मतलब आपकी, when you learned about this autism diagnosis, क्या अंतर रहता है? क्योंकि फादर्स का मैंने इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी देखा है, ऐसा नहीं है, पर obviously because whatever reasons sometimes they're less involved, is it less accepting for them, or what makes it sometimes difficult more for a father?
So, Sarabjit, I'll tell you about my and Rakhi's journey. I think they'll give a good insight about it. I can't generalize it and say about every father because I know about my life, I know about my family. So when we came to know that Sayam is on autism spectrum, तो जैसा मैंने पहले बोला कि हम लोग दोनों ही denial stage में थे. We were that strong. अंशुल ने जैसे बोला कि she was one of the parents जो कि immediately उसको accept कर पाए. We were not that strong. So हम लोग का क्या था? We are two different personalities. Me being a male, एक मेरी था कि हाँ मैं फिक्स कर लूंगा, ठीक है कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो, बट बिफोर दैट एक स्टेज आती है प्रॉब्लम को एक्सेप्ट करने की, या कोई अगर इशू है तो उसको एक्सेप्ट तो करें. तो मैं आई वाज इन अ फेज जहाँ पे कि मैं इस चीज को बिल्कुल एक्सेप्ट करने को तैयार नहीं था दैट संयम के साथ कोई भी इशू है, कोई कंडीशन है. ऑटिज्म तो शब्द के बारे में जब हमने रिसर्च करना शुरू किया तो मेरा तरीका डिनायल का ये था, आई वेंट कंप्लीटली ऑन इंटरनेट एंड आई वाज रीडिंग आर्टिकल्स, आई वाज रीडिंग टेस्टिमोनीज, आई वाज रीडिंग अबाउट अदर पेरेंट्स हु आर डीलिंग विद ऑटिज्म, जिनके बच्चों को है, और मैं किसी ना किसी तरह बस ये अपने आप को प्रूव करने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि हाँ ये चीज अलग है, और जो हमारे बच्चे को डायग्नोज हुआ है हो सकता है गलत डायग्नोज हो या वो है ही नहीं. तो मेरा तरीका ये था डिनायल को प्रूव करने का. Rakhi on the other side, being a very emotional mother, she went up, and she's a very strong personality. She went completely into a upfront denial mode, जहाँ पे कि उसने खुल के बोला कि नहीं कुछ नहीं है, तुम बकवास कर रहे हो, डॉक्टर जो बोल रहा है वो बकवास कर रहा है, ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं मेरे बच्चे, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. So, and the thing was that me, एक चीज मैं बता सकता हूँ that we men have a male ego जिसमें हम लोग अपने आप को कमजोर दिखाना पसंद नहीं करते. So that was me 15-16 years back, जिसमें मुझे लगता था कि अगर मैं जो भी मैं रिसर्च कर रहा हूँ, और सच में जितना मैं रिसर्च करता था उतना मैं अंदर से डरता था, क्योंकि मुझे दिखता था कि जो सिम्टम्स हैं, जो साइंस हैं, वो ऑटिज्म के हैं, लेकिन मैं एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना चाहता था उसको. एंड मैं उस चीज के बारे में राखी से बात भी नहीं करता था, बिकॉज अगर मैं बात करूंगा तो मैं वीक दिखूंगा वहां पे, और वहां पे आई विल बी मोर वल्नरेबल. शी वुड आल्सो नॉट टॉक टू मी, शी वुड स्क्रीम, बट हम लोग कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि साथ बैठ के बात करें और एक्सेप्ट करें चीजों. 3 महीने 2 महीने तकरीबन इस चीज में निकल गए, और हम लोग ना एक डिफरेंस सा आता जा रहा था, एक डिस्टेंस बढ़ता जा रहा था हम दोनों के बीच में. एंड द ओनली पर्सन हु वाज सफरिंग द मोस्ट इन ऑल दिस वाज सयम. देयर केम वन पॉइंट, एक दिन फाइनली जब हमने बहुत ड्रामा कर लिया, उसने भी कर लिया, मैंने भी कर लिया, वी हेल्ड ईच अदर्स हैंड लिटरली, वी क्राइड, वी स्पोक, एंड अल्टीमेटली वी एक्सेप्टेड दैट. मैंने भी रिसर्च कर लिया, आपने भी देख लिया, हम कितना भी कह लें कि कंडीशन नहीं है, कंडीशन इज देयर एंड इट इज इन आवर हैंड, इट इज देयर, वी हैव टू फेस इट नाउ. दैट वाज द डे जहाँ पे हम लोगों ने एक दूसरे के साथ पहली बार शेयर किया कि हमारे अंदर क्या डर है, मैं क्या चीजें रिसर्च कर रहा हूँ, मेरे क्या क्या एप्रीहेंशंस हैं, आप क्या डील कर रहे हो. तब बैठ के कुछ घंटों तक हम लोगों ने लिटरली इस बारे में बात करी. देन वी अंडरस्टूड, जैसे अभी कृति मैम ने बोला, दैट इट इज नॉट समथिंग दैट नीड्स टू बी डेल्ट अलोन. दैट वाज द मोमेंट वी रियलाइज कि अकेले ना मैं कर पाऊंगा अपने मेल ईगो के साथ, ना वो कर पाएंगे अपनी स्ट्रॉन्ग पर्सनालिटी के साथ. हम दोनों इक्वल पार्टनर्स हैं, हम दोनों को इक्वल पार्टनर की तरह ही देखना पड़ेगा और इसे डील करना पड़ेगा. ना वो बड़ी ना मैं बड़ा, ना वो औरत ना मैं आदमी, हम दोनों को पेरेंट बन के काम करना पड़ेगा. तो that was our journey, knowing to accept.
Again, I would say very insightful, and understanding this aspect of, is there an echo coming? So what we need to realize, definitely the words he used, that ki ek jo one for the men to show their vulnerability, to show, express their emotions, is such a taboo in our, I won't say it's in India, I think it's all over. It's everywhere where they are brought up like nahi aap apne emotions nahi, and I think so it's tougher there for them then. And we take nahi ki they have to be strong, they have to be things. So I think so it's high time that as a society we realize that even fathers need that kind of support, even fathers need a community, even fathers need to vent out and share their this journey, and have somebody, and obviously no other than, I think so all of no other than you're blessed if you have that kind of a person, whether it's your life partner, it can be your friend, it can be anybody. And once, I think so once you hold on to that person and you can share that with somebody, I think so it makes it definitely easier. So thank you for that perspective. Going further, Ms. Anshul, I'll get back to you. So obviously the question is, when you talked about taking from taking a backseat in your profession and leaving engineering, MBA, and now taking on special education. So your experience on that and how you took that decision.
The way Arushi mentioned, when our journey started, we were also like clueless ki where to head. Ye journey ka destination kya hoga? This is a endless journey. It's a marathon, I would say. And like Bhushan ji has mentioned, it's a roller coaster, journey. It's not easy even after 16 years of age. Every step, it has own challenges. जब छोटे होते हैं तो लगता है थोड़ा सा बड़ा हो जाएगा, बेटर हो जाएगा. अरे सिर्फ सेंसरी इश्यूज ही तो फिक्स करने हैं, ठीक हो जाएगा. अरे थोड़े वर्ड्स ही तो ऐड कराने हैं, ठीक हो जाएगा. When I started my son's journey, like going from one therapy to another therapy, and quite often I would listen, ma'am kaise handle karte ho, he's very difficult to handle, he doesn't pay attention at all, he doesn't sit at all, kaise sikhayein, and blah blah. And that was the point. I was like, being a professional, being a therapist, you are not able to I would say manage him, not handle him. So I was like pissed off. I said, my husband, I will going to jump into this field now. Since I have already quit my job, what's the point sitting at home idly and running from one pillar to another and listening to all these questions? And उन questions के answer मेरे पास नहीं थे. Instead, answer मुझे उनसे चाहिए थे. Now see, he has autism. Tell me what to do. Instead, I was being asked कि मैम आप इसे handle कैसे करते हो? And I was like, really? Then was a point, that was the day me and my husband decided, let's train yourself in autism field. I will earn, one will earn, and one will sit back, stay at home, train in the field of autism, so that we can connect well with our son, and maybe we can help other people also. When I started my journey in this field, I was not very sure about working in this field professionally, but I was pretty sure that I wanted to this autism spectrum disorder. I wanted to work in this field to help my own son so that I can connect well with him. So I started my journey from Action for Autism. Soon after that, I enrolled myself in a proper 2 years diploma course. I used to go Faridabad every day to take classes in person because I wanted to learn everything in person. I was not like that person ki are just for the sake of taking degree le lo ghar mein and I can show I'm a trained resource person in autism. I wanted to do everything with my own hands. Soon after I finished my diploma, I just got a passion, a spark in my heart कि अगर मैं एक बच्चे की लाइफ में हेल्प कर सकती हूँ. And I could see कि Ansh was growing in a very beautiful way. I could connect with him. His speech was better. His sitting was better. Everything was growing in a very positive way. That's when I realized, if I can add value to my son's life, why can't I help other children also? Then I joined different, center as a volunteer. Then I gained more experience. Then I joined one of the top school in Gurgaon full time. And then there was no looking back. I mean, I've been working since like 8 years now, and I'm very happy. I mean, I love connecting with different, children and parents. And I feel blessed that I am adding value to their life. So what else I can expect, I mean, from this life? I'm done for this life. I'm happy working in this field forever.
Okay, so that's really nice that how you shifted and what made you, take up this, special education as a part of, and I think so empowering oneself is the most important thing. How it can be through formally or it can be done through the way from your experiences and sharing that with others and guiding others, because it's, I think so very important for some parents who who join this field also, because as Ms. Arushi said, it's so difficult to find sometimes good professionals. So sometimes the need to empower oneself with knowledge, with because I know my child better than anybody else, I think so. So if I don't empower myself, I don't educate myself or train myself, that's the first step, I think so some parents also take on and take this into action also. So that's really nice. Thank you so much. And Ms. Arushi, just coming to you. So what kind of support, like, when we've discussed family here, so obviously we've heard a lot about, so what's kind of support, because since it's just been a year, so how any family member that who has really helped you go through this phase, and what was the support you got?
After the initial denial and comparison to other people's kids, my mother has been a very huge support. She used to come with me for every assessment. Initially, she used to come with me for every therapy session as well to just support me. That she's done for me. Apart from being there physically, she was there to offer emotional support. She also supported, she every week, even now, it's been a year, even now, every week she calls me up, okay, what is the therapist saying? Okay, what do we need to do now? Kya khilana hai, kya nahi khilana? Because there has been many dietary changes as well. And then my sister, my son loves my sister like anything.
Yeah.
So she encourages him to talk. She plays with him when I don't have that kind of time. She engages him. And then another support that I have received is from his therapist, Dr. Vikas Sharma. He has been a big support. When everybody used to tell me to shut my business, to stop working, focus completely on my son,
Yeah.
he told me that you need to maintain your individuality as a mother and as a professional. So don't stop
Yeah.
working, because later on in your life you might get this resentment that because of this I had to leave my career.
Yeah, I think so. It's a very important, again, aspect that you have shared. Family, close family members' support is very crucial at this point of time. And to judge between career and, so I think so that was a very hard decision sometimes we need to take. And many are there who are continuing with the, their professions and have, resources that have helped them to overcome these challenges. So that's great to hear. And that because sometimes we need that, to keep our individuality, as we said. And I don't think so it's only by profession that, we define our individuality. It could be anything, whatever. You find a path for yourself through this journey. So any individuality can be, maybe I'm a, what you said, even a homemaker or a special educator. I think so, whatever keeps you going can be it. Yeah. Okay. So then coming to Ms. Kirti again here. Just a minute, please. So Ms. Kirti, what personal growth have you experienced through this journey?
Only one thing that comes into my mind if someone asks me this question, and that is patience.
Okay.
Patience. I think that's what I have started imbibing it more. There was a time when I had a very hardcore corporate background, and I have been a marketer for close to 17, 18 years. And being in marketing, it's not funny to being in marketing. You're constantly on the go. It's almost like a hamster on his wheel, you're constantly on the go, because you have to keep redefining whatever that you have defined एक महीना पहले, उसी को redefine करना है आपने हर तीसरे महीने, हर चौथे महीने. So what this journey, I will not isolate autism per se, but motherhood itself has brought a lot of patience in me, a lot of patience. And the thing that I realized, what my ma used to say always, that in Bengali, she used to say, Thanda mathay karo. She always used to say this to me. She used to take my nickname and said, Thanda mathay karo. So that means Thande dimag se karo, Thande dimag se karo. So I hope she's listening wherever she is. I'm doing it right now, though I'm yet to get there completely. But yes, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm almost there, and hopefully I'll make her proud. So personal growth में Sarah ma'am, honestly, एक तो patience, and secondly, जो एक huge, I will not call it growth, but I will call it an evolvement as a human being, is that you start not only to see the beauty in other people, but to be grateful of that beauty. कि आपको आज ये देखने को मिला. You were there to witness it, you were there to see it, and दुनिया में सब कुछ बुरा नहीं है. जैसे एक टाइम पे हम सबको ये लगने लग जाता है ना कि there's nothing is going right in our lives, कुछ भी सही नहीं है हमारी. तो जैसे मेरे छोटे बेटे ने बोलना वो सीख गया है बोलना कि मम्मा मेरी तो वाट लग गई है. So it is not that, there's always something or the other. Beauty बोल लीजिए, learning बोल लीजिए, कुछ भी बोल लीजिए, it is always there. So accept whatever that life and the universe is giving you with open arms. क्योंकि उसमें कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा होगा ही होगा, या अच्छा होगा या लर्निंग होगी.
Definitely, I
तो ये
totally
एक बहुत
agree.
बड़ा evolvement, personal growth तो नहीं बोलूंगी Sarab ma'am, but it's an evolvement, and I'm still on that journey actually.
Yeah, I think so. All of us will, go through that, and I think so. Your kids become your teachers. They are become your guidance. प्रिंसिपल बन जाते हैं, टीचर्स बन जाते हैं, आपके गाइडिंग फोर्स बन जाते हैं, और जो आपको इमोशनल स्ट्रेंथ शायद मुझे लगता है और कोई नहीं दे सकता, जिससे कि आप अपने बच्चे से खुद सीख सकते हैं. मुझे वही लगता है. सो मिस आरुषि, कमिंग बैक टू यू, सो जो आपके लिए जो रिसोर्सेज अभी, क्योंकि बहुत रिसेंट है, तो रिसोर्सेज और सपोर्ट आपके जो आप कह रहे थेरेपीज में बहुत डिफिकल्ट रहा, क्यों रहा ऐसे? वजह क्या थी? आपको क्यों, मतलब व्हाट वर द चैलेंजेस?
Well, the biggest challenge I would say was when we started this journey, when we got on, what do I say? The struggle of finding the right therapist. We have initially we used to go to so many therapists. I think in a month we visited 12 professionals, and everyone had their own way of working, their own way of handling my son. Because initially he could not sit still, he would not follow orders. If he was given an activity, he would throw that, run away, hit, scream, cry. And a lot of people could not handle that. Most of the therapists used to look at me and say, ma'am, isko control kariye, aap isko डांटिए, aap ise संभालिए. And I used to feel that whatever I'm doing is clearly not working. That is why I'm here taking help from you. If I knew what needed to be done or how to handle my child, I would have done it. But that's why I'm here. And that was the biggest challenge I faced. Yeah. And then about a year ago, when we found the right people, we found the right therapist, that is when things started to fall into place. At least I thought that. Then another roller coaster of doing all those activities, getting him to do everything at home, making him sit and understand all this, that is an ongoing process.
Yes, I think so. This will be an ongoing process, definitely. And, finding the right person does become a challenge at times. And because these are the aspects, sometimes setbacks of this field, to get to know the right person who can guide you and who can not only, I would say, I think so in the beginning, a lot of, helping hand is required, and because, correct professional who can guide more, be a counselor at the same point of time, because you just got to know, so that kind of a therapist really, really will help. And I'm good that at least you found somebody, and I'm sure there will be more people to come, and you will find, good therapists definitely are there. So don't get disheartened. And, you have now a lot of, main thing is you have to have that resource, community resource, parents, ask those people, where have you gone? What have you done? We have this, a lot of people here. Yeah. So now finally, last, we have our project inclusion that is coming up. You can take guidance, also from us here. We have all specialists here also. So, and the other aspect, now coming lastly, Mr. Bhushan, the last question to you. आपकी personality के growth में क्या आपको लगा difference? मतलब, obviously the so-called, the man's perspective or the father's perspective. आपकी personality में क्या change आया?
A lot of change.
Yes.
So I don't remember myself. If I go 16 years back when Sayam was not there in our life, I don't remember myself crying publicly or in front of my family anywhere. So one major thing as far as the emotional quotient is concerned, that I became more emotionally sensitive. I understood this thing, and I tell this thing to my kids as well, that it is okay to cry, and it is okay to cry in front of me, in front of your mother, because by crying you shed a lot of load. There is a myth that men don't cry, and there is a myth कि अगर आदमी रोता है तो वो कमजोर हो जाता है. The fact is, and I learned this from Rakhi, that when you cry, you take the load out and you let people know that you need support. And every time you take that emotional burden out, you become even stronger. It takes a lot of guts. So that is the first thing, being more emotionally sensitive. Second thing, in my personality, I would say that I became more humble. I could clearly see, and with a lot of respect to all the women on this platform, on this event right now, that I personally feel that women are way more stronger than men. Way more stronger, because जितना responsibility लेने की capabilities या decisions लेने की capabilities, जितना load लेने की capabilities, tasking की capabilities जितनी आपके अंदर है उतनी हमारे अंदर नहीं. And we learn from that. So I really respect and learn from every time. If you talk about, I'll take one more minute if you allow.
Okay. Actually, we're really time constrained. We've almost reaching the time there. So anything very quickly you can share?
Okay. So the last thing is that I, as Kirti ma'am said, Sayam ka naam Sayam hai, and he taught us Sayam. He taught us a lot of patience.
Yes.
We have in our contribute to the other parents also.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Bhushan, for being so honest and sharing this. It's, I think so, even being a male figure, and I think so it will become for all the I think so, I hope we have fathers here in the audience, and become it's like a role model to share this, and it takes courage to also say this in a public platform, I must say. And amazing to have all of you here. Because of the time constraint, I'll have to conclude this event here. And so it's wonderful, and to have all of you come and taken out your time to share this wonderful aspect and the most crucial journey that you all parents go through, and share your emotions, given your advice, and and help to, I think so, the audience here, and reach out to more. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of knowing, a lot of I think so, personal growth itself, from what we can see overall, that क्या है, बहुत सी चीजें होती हैं इसमें. तो शायद मेरे ख्याल जितना आप लोगों ने कहा है, मैं तो इसको बयां भी नहीं कर सकती हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे लिए बहुत, मेरे पास तो शब्द भी नहीं है अभी कुछ कहने के लिए, frankly saying, कि जो आप लोग go through करते हैं, because even being in the profession, I know how hard it is. And, you know, where I've worked in a preschool, and, you know, to come to tell to a parent and how to take through that journey, it's not an easy process, but all of you have mastered it, I think so, in your best possible ways. You all have, you know, done so well, and you are actually, all of you in a way, are change makers. And Ms. Sarushi, I think so, will be again one of the dot, and I think so she will also grow as a person. So great, amazing conversations, lot of revelations, lot of guidance. Thank you all for being here with us today. A great, amazing. And again, regarding the project inclusion, there's if people who there can download the app and, you know, fill the form. Lastly, I'm very sorry, because of time constraint, we have to wrap it up. There's another live session which is going to come under this. So I have to wrap it up quickly here. And I'm sorry for audiences that we could not take your questions, but we have your questions available with us. We will definitely get back to you on these questions. And, you know, I'm really, really apologetic for that we cannot because of the time issues. Thank you once again. Very tiring. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Project Inclusion, and lots of love to Aurobindo Society. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay.